Family Stress Relief Now. Easy to implement techniques to create family happiness. Hi, my name is Sindy Wilkinson. I work with kids who are struggling with learning, behavior, and attention difficulties in their families so the kids can learn easier and everyone is happier. Today I want to talk to you about 5 things not to expect from your child with ADHD and what to do instead. So let's get started. Number 1, do not expect them to follow multiple step directions. If you ask your child to go get their shoes, go get their jacket, and get in the car, you are likely to find your child happily sitting in the car without any shoes or a jacket on. How do you do it more effectively? Give instructions one at a time. Don't want to stand there and give instructions one at a time? That causes more frustration for you. I completely understand. You can make a chart with pictures or words that can be checked off. Pictures of what they need to do or a list that tells them one by one what to do. For instance, they go to the chart. What do I do first? Oh, there's a picture of shoes. I go get my shoes. What do I do next? There's a picture of a jacket. I go get my jacket. What do I do next? There's a picture of a car. I go get in the car. One thing at a time. Figure it out, go do it, come back, and get the next thing. You're much more apt to have a smooth transition and less frustration if you do it that way. Number 2, do not expect them to focus for extended periods of time. By definition, kids with attention, so-called deficits, cannot focus for long periods of time. They need to do things in short bits and learn how to be able to extend the periods of time that their bodies will allow them to focus on one thing. I am not sure we are actually even talking about deficits of attention here. There are certainly priorities of attention taking precedence, mostly internal priorities, that do not allow the child to focus externally for a long period of time because they have internal things that are demanding great amounts of attention. But that's the subject of a whole nother video. What do you do to help them to be able to focus on the 20, 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer of homework that they may have depending on their age, without them getting thoroughly distracted and you getting totally frustrated? Take short, frequent breaks in between short periods of work time. You may have them do a task for 10 minutes at a time. Set a timer, 10 minutes of work time, and then a few minutes for a break. They may stand up, take a walk around the house, jump up and down, take a drink of water, anything that will break up the time. You will find that doing tasks in these shorter bits of time with breaks in between actually increases the integration of learning and decreases the frustration for them and for you. Number 3, do not expect them to sit still. They are not sitting still because when they sit still, they can't focus. I know that sounds like a paradox. You want them to sit still so they will focus, but it is actually counterproductive. It could be for all sorts of reasons. Maybe they are tactily sensitive and sitting on the chair bothers the backs of their legs, which are incredibly sensitive. And so sitting there actually causes pain. Not a cognitive pain, but an intense bodily discomfort. They have to move around in order to get comfortable, and then they cannot concentrate on whatever they are supposed to be doing. Maybe when they sit still, everything kind of goes blank inside of them, and they can't think of what they're supposed to be doing. They cannot think of a word or put together an idea. That's because movement helps their brain be able to integrate information and coordinate information. So what do you do that is more effective? Allow movement. Yeah, give them an exercise ball, fidget toys, allow them to walk around or stand while they work. It might seem counterintuitive to you, but for kids with attentional difficulties, these things actually help them to work. Number 4, do not expect them to attend to long explanations. Even the length of this video, in spite of the wonderful pictures you are looking at while I am talking, might be too long and too much for a person with attentional challenges. They need things in short, concise explanations. In fact, you might even do an experiment. Start to explain something to your child that you really want them to get, some kind of information that is pertinent to their lives. And when you notice that their eyes glaze over and they are not with you anymore, check your watch. How long was it? 20 seconds? Then I would recommend you keep your explanations to 15. Then you will have their attention with you the whole time. Number 5, do not expect them to respond to logical reasoning about why to change their behavior. Logical explanations and reasonings such as, "Sweetie, don't run around the table while we are eating dinner because it's really, really rude and very distracting to everyone else. Come sit down because that's the way your food digests way better." Notice this is way too long. And the logic of it only makes your child feel like they cannot do what he is supposed to do. And that might mean he's not such a good person. It can also work against you in another way, because what a child will often do is when he cannot control himself and do what you want him to do, he may do more of what you don't want him to do. At least he can be in control of that, and we all like to be in control of something. What can you do that is more effective? Let them know the rules and consequences clearly at another time, not in the triggering situation. State your explanations concisely and briefly, without judgment as much as possible, and then follow through. You might tell him he can stand during dinner. You might have him eat earlier and then come to the table for as long as he can and leave when he gets antsy. You might have him come to the table for as long as he can, and when he needs to run around, give him another place to do that, and then let him come back. I know these aren't picturesque ways to have a family dinner, but if you want your child's involvement, you may have to change some of those pictures until things get organized in his body so that he can participate. It is often not a discipline problem, but an internal problem that causes a lack of focus and ability to do what you want him to do. So those are 5 things not to expect from your child with ADHD and what to do instead. I hope it was helpful. My name is Sindy Wilkinson, and until next time, be gentle with yourself.